Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think, I think we've been riding momentum since Stanford, to be honest. We've had the UCLA game was the one game since then where I didn't feel like it was our best effort. Besides that, I think we've competed very well in every game, and even there were flashes in that game where we played well. But the USC game, it all came together for us, and, we obviously finished a game. I think it was our first game against, our first win since I've been here against a team with a winning record in our conference. So that's just the next step for our program, is having that confidence to finish. So yeah, team's feeling good. I think both teams should be feeling good off our last weekend coming into this one.
Are you feeling any of that buzz about surrounding the program now that people are like, hey, look at Oregon State, look at,
Well, a little bit. What I am feeling is people have forgotten a little bit where we've come from, and their expectations are higher. I have heard some of that and felt some of that. People are disappointed we got beat. We didn't get the sweep last weekend, where I think a year ago and even earlier this year, they might have been surprised that we were even close to either of those teams, So I have felt that a little bit, which is nice, and that comes with the success of, this team and their maturing.
Has it been hard to manage the up and down expectations? Obviously, you have high expectations for yourselves, but sometimes, to expect you to go to LA and sweep this.
We haven't heard it too much. It's just when you come back, you're having a solid season. I think this team's doing amazing, for all the new people. And so, I don't think it's been too tough. I think this team just expects to go out and have an opportunity every night, and that's what I expect too. So I don't think that voice has been too loud yet, but hopefully that will come with more success.
Sorry, go ahead.
Last year, you said, after you all won, you said that you preached to them in the week leading up to the game that you're never out of it with Oregon because of the style that they play. Is that something that you've been talking about again this week in practice?
No, because we hope we're not in that situation again. And that was our halftime talk in that game. Just to encourage them. That Oregon style does allow for a lot of possessions. And I think that would probably be the case again. So if we were to get down like we did before, this team could remember back, and that's certainly what we would be talking about. But we haven't talked about that yet. We would love to play from ahead in this one.
Alyssa, what do you remember about that game last year as a freshman with your family, longtime Beaver ties, to come back against the Ducks like that? What's your most important memory from that day?
Just it'd be so much easier if you didn't get down by 20 at halftime. Coming from behind was something we did a lot last year, and I think we had just gotten way better at it as the season went on. But like he said, playing from ahead would be much better.
Alyssa, how do you think last week's win over USC, which has a lot of talent, that's a team that was ranked in the top 25 a few weeks ago, has changed your team's confidence?
I think that we've always known that we can be in any game, and we've shown that last year and this year. And I think that SC was just a game where we finally put it all together and said, we can do this. And I think that showed, and we were the aggressors, and we hit first, and we were able to pull that one out.
Scott, they've got kind of an ultimate offense in Oregon as far as fast moving. You guys have such a great defense. When two things like this collide, how do you try to slow them down?
Yeah, get it back. They can come at you from so many different ways. It all starts with Jackson. It all starts with their point guard. She's an incredible player, and I think she's becoming what she was again, coming off her knee. I think earlier this year her numbers weren't the same, and watching film, she's playing very well, and she's a threat to go by you and create a number situation for them every time she touches the ball, and that's what makes them go. So their point guard play really is the key. Can we slow them down? Are we going to let her do what she wants? And if we do, then we'll be in trouble because she'll create a shot for them. So that's the thing. It's just who's going to stay with their game plan, who's going to focus the longest. That's our game, I guess. It's 40 minutes of seeing who can be the toughest team, and we have to be tough for 40 minutes against this team.
As a Beaver alum yourself, whenever you're playing the Ducks, how different does that pregame feel, the game feel? Talk about that.
Well, you know, I don't have a ton of experience, just a couple games, but to me, it's like any rival. You know, wherever I've been able to coach, you know, there's been rivals. And so you look at this one, and of course it means a lot because this is the state I grew up in, and now I get to be a part of the game. And so it's what we all live for. I mean, these are the most fun games, you know, the biggest crowds typically, the most emotion, you know, and the lights are a little brighter. There's more of you here today, you know, and so the week is a little bit different, but we just got to focus on the next possession, really. So we've got to be wise enough to manage those emotions and those extra distractions that are potential and part of this week, and stay focused on what helped us beat USC and what helped us play so well a year ago in the second half, and so on.
Scott, can you talk a little bit about Anna and what she brings to you guys? She really seems to be your emotional spark every time she's on the floor.
Yeah, Alyssa is our leader. She's our emotional leader. She sets the tone for us with her intensity each day. I think she's been a great example to us because she has adapted her game this year. She's playing more of a facilitating role offensively, where it's not just drive and shoot, it's drive and create for us. You know, then all her hustle plays are what have kept us in games and allowed us to win. You know, so really proud of her for what she's brought to us this year. You know, she's really stepped up into that leadership role where, you know, we're looking around and, you know, that was the question going into the year: who's it going to be? You know, we have 4 returning starters, you know, and all 4 have really stepped their games up, and she's led the charge.
Alyssa, you're pretty quiet on and off the floor. What's it like to play with someone like her, someone who is so vocal, emotional, and she celebrates everything?
Oh, I think every team needs someone like that, and Anna's a great leader. She's that person that we can all rally around, and she does get emotional, and I think that helps us in the games because it makes you want to try that much harder, like for her, especially since it's her senior year.
Anything else?
Alyssa, can you talk a little bit about playing in the game, you know, from where you are and having watched it and all that, just playing in the Civil War, what that means to you, and having here and all that?
Playing in the Civil War is, I mean, something you always dream about growing up in Oregon and being a Beaver fan. And to get to do that is awesome. It's exciting. It's definitely one of the most exciting games of the year. And, I mean, it's the win that feels the best. It hurts the most if you lose. And, I mean, like I said, it's all those emotions just bottled up into one game.
How different is it to play in the game as opposed to just watching it? I mean, now that you've had it.
I mean, playing in it is, you get more hyped than you do for a normal game, but you have to control that so you don't play wild. You still play with the same emotion and that you always do, and you don't want it to be different because it's just another game.